Hey guys, Ryan here. Hope all you guys are having a great week so far and a great hump day. Happy hump day. If you guys didn't see my video earlier, go check that out. Highly recommend you guys go check that out. Saw something pretty cool that was nice and spring bloomy. So if you haven't checked that video out already, go check it out with the link down below. But we got a lot to address and a lot to say, so let's quit wasting time. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. A positive time with Ryan. And just a little recap, tomorrow I will have a very special surprise for you guys, so make sure you tune in tomorrow for that surprise. Okay, so we are going to continue our discussion on Autism Awareness Month. April is Autism Awareness Month, if you guys did not know. And just a reminder, guys, this upcoming Monday, I will start talking about my journey and my life with autism. So that will be an episode that you guys will not want to miss. Okay, if you guys didn't see my video on Sunday, I talked about an incident that happened last week over in Pocatello, Idaho. That is about 2.5 hours away from where I live. And I mentioned a kid, a 17-year-old kid by the name of Victor Perez. A little bit about it. Victor Perez was a 17-year-old kid in Pocatello, Idaho. His parents dispatched 911 on him last week, not for a violent reason. He was having an emotional breakdown, and they could not get control of the situation. Therefore, they called the Pocatello Police Department. Upon arrival, within a few minutes after officers arrived, Victor Perez was shot at least 20 times by the Pocatello Police Department, and a few days later, his family made the most difficult decision a parent could make and had to take him off life support. And on Monday, this past Monday, they laid him to rest, guys. I want you to understand a couple of things. No parent should have to do those two things. So, of course, my thoughts, my prayers, my condolences are with Victor Perez and his family and all of his friends. And of course, the autism community in Pocatello, Idaho. I said Sunday, I'll say it again. It is an incident that did happen. It is an incident that should have not happened and all that. But I will say this, okay? Since that day, a lot of people have been reaching out to me, and they've been asking me, is law enforcement truly trained for people with autism? And I will be happy to answer that right now. More likely, police agencies in bigger counties, so like in Idaho, Canyon County, Ada County, Boise County, they are definitely trained in with autism cases. But the bad thing about being in like a small town like Pocatello is a smaller town with a smaller police agency. The training just is not there. I am not defending the Pocatello Police Department. I am definitely saying what they did is wrong. I really, all I can do right now is hope that the officers that were involved in that will face consequences for their actions. It definitely should not have happened, and it did happen. But once again, I do want to send my thoughts, my condolences to all the family of Victor Perez, the autism community in Pocatello, Idaho, and all of his friends. I mean, this did not just affect family, but it affected the community of Pocatello and all the autistic community, yet alone in Idaho, yet alone in the United States. And I can just tell you that starting next week at some point, I will discuss my journey well, not really my journey, but my experience having to come in contact with law enforcement with my autism and all that. So I'm going to save that for next week at some point. So when I have a specific day, I'm going to do that. I'll let you guys know. But I just want to let you guys know that the other day was Monday, and Victor Perez family, they took him off life support 2 days prior to Monday, and then they laid him to rest. Again, something a parent should never have to do. You hear the quote a lot: a parent should never bury their own kid. And that's 1,000,000,000% true. But also, a parent should never have to make the decision to take their kid off life support. And the reason Victor Perez's parents did that is because really that was the only choice. They were really put into a situation where they absolutely had no choice. And it is tragic. I'm trying to stay away from the news. But when it comes to this situation in particular, it's hard for me to not ignore the news, you know. It really is. But like I said, this hits really close to home. I didn't know Victor Perez. I didn't know his family. But, you know, with someone with autism, it does hit home. There is a community and all of that. And I just want to say again, my thought, keep your thoughts and your prayers with the family of Victor Perez and the community of Pocatello, Idaho. But please understand one thing. Law enforcement, despite this incident, it does not make them bad people. People like law enforcement here in Boise, Idaho, that doesn't make them bad people because of what happened last week in Pocatello. I want you to understand that it is okay if you come in contact with law enforcement and you are nervous. It is. I think most people figure that out. But you need to still understand that, you know, not every police officer with the Pocatello Police Department is a bad police officer or a bad person. There were officers with Pocatello PD that were not on that call. Therefore, they are not going to be, you know, I want you guys to understand that. Most people look at this and they say, well, any officer with Pocatello PD is a bad person or a bad cop. And that's far from the truth, okay? But I am going to be honest with you. The officers that responded to that call, they did not need to do what they did. They used way above unnecessary force. And I really do hope that they face the consequences and all that. I really think that all Victor Perez's family wants is justice. They had to do two things in a matter of 48 hours that really no parent should ever have to do in their lifetime with their kid. So again, you know, about Victor Perez, man, I would like to say I'm sorry, even though I have nothing to do with the situation. But it doesn't mean this is going to go away. It doesn't mean it's going to be forgotten. I want you guys to understand, 40 years down the road from now, this incident is still going to be talked about. I mean, maybe not to the extent it is right now, but it's not going to be forgotten. An incident like this just will not be forgotten, and all that. There is no excuse for what happened. Victor Perez was not posing a threat to the Pocatello Police Department. But at the exact same time, guys, I want you guys to fully understand, it doesn't mean if you see a cop, it makes him a bad cop. It makes him a bad person. That is not the truth, literally at all. And I want you guys to fully understand that. But I also want you guys to, when you eat dinner, when you go to bed, I want you guys to just think and keep your thoughts in prayers with Victor Perez and his family and the community of Pocatello, guys. I want you guys to understand that the words saying that I love you, you know, this is really a situation where you don't know when the last time will be. So I want you guys to understand that, maybe your mom and dad say, I love you, or maybe you say, I love you too much. Well, there's nothing wrong with saying, I love you too much, because you don't know when the last time will be. And I just, knowing what Victor Perez's family had to do in a matter of 48 hours is, in my mind, a PTSD. I mean, take him off life support and then have no lay him to rest. Something a parent should never do, but it doesn't mean that they have laid him to rest. This is going to go away. It's not going to go away. I really think that this will never go away, even if those officers are brought to justice. Even if all of that happens, this will not go away because of one big reason. It just should not have happened. So I want you guys to just keep your thoughts and your prayers with Victor Perez and his family and his friends and the entire community of Pocatello, because it didn't just affect a community of Pocatello. It affected more. It affects the entire autistic community and all that. So I want you guys to just understand that. But I also want you guys to firmly understand that, don't look at this with law enforcement and then say, well, they need to be disrespected, okay? I don't want you guys to go out like that, It's hard for me to come on this channel and talk about it when it hits personal to me. When this gets personal with me, I have to be professional on YouTube at all times with everything I say. There are things I want to say about this topic that if I say on YouTube, I'm going to get fired. So it's not easy for me. I have to remain professional too. And when it hits personal to home like this, it's not easy. So, but all I ask is that you keep Victor Perez's family and friends and the community of Pocatello, Idaho, and the autistic community in your thoughts and your prayers. All right, guys, remember tomorrow, come to the channel. We will have a very big announcement. I will have a very big announcement. So that will be in tomorrow's episode. But other than that, guys, have a great rest of your Wednesday night and your hump day. Happy hump day as well. And I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow for our next episode.